is Saturday, November
This is
15th,
Dick
and you are
with your
watching
news and
You
weather.
Don't
Let me tell
Watch
you, I'm happy to
Sports.
say there's nothing
Right
but
here on the
blue
Feo Grande
skies
YouTube
coming your
network,
way.
I am Bill Smith, and I am joined, as always, by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, how is your sports week, broski?
Mixed, but you know what? Always good because we keep having sports. Had some mixed reactions early on, but we're good now because it's a new week. Let's go.
Let's go, new week, woo, woo, woo. It
You
is
know
topic number one, and ML MVPs have been announced, Omari, and we're going to run through it real quick. And then I also want to hit the top 10 free agents here coming this offseason so we can try and talk about where they might go. First off, in the National League, Omari, was there any doubt at all? The freak, the unicorn, the one of one, Shohei Ohtani has now won his third straight unanimous MVP and his fourth in 5 years. No player in any sport ever, has gotten three MVP awards for their sport unanimously 3 years in a row. It's never happened. It'll never happen. Unicorn. Shohei Ohtani. We talk about him constantly, so what more
Yeah,
could I possibly say?
the closest I can think, just because I think the NBA is the only other one I know that had someone win unanimously multiple times in a row. Or not even in a row, but multiple times I can think of, and that was Curry got it unanimous twice, but it wasn't in a row. And yeah, that's ridiculous. Three unanimous in 5 years. Oh no, sorry, four unanimous in 5 years. Three of them in a row. You said four unanimous, right?
Four unanimous in 5 years, three of them in the last 3 years.
I don't even think MJ did
I
that.
mean,
I
he's
could be
also,
wrong, but
he's
I don't think MJ
like
did
he
that.
is also the first player ever to join a new team, win two MVPs and two World Series in those first 2 years with a new team. First player ever to do that. Um, he is a god playing among ants.
He's literally a
Um,
created character at this point.
yes.
Like you make your my career mode and you give him the best stats and you just start winning MVPs every season.
Speaking of best stats, he finished the season with 172 hits, 55 home runs, a new career benchmark for him, a 282 batting average, 102 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, a OPS plus of 179. Oh, and also he pitched 14 games to a 2.87 ERA with a 11.9 strikeout per nine ratio, tallying up to a 7.7 WAR for the season. Shohei Ohtani, your unanimous MVP.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Philadelphia Phillies, Kyle Schwarber, who came in second place this year with a big 56 home runs as his big stat line for the year. And then we have the American League, where we had a big debate on this show on what should happen here with the MVP, and it was decided just the other night that once again the New York Yankees' Aaron Judge is the American League MVP. He beat out Cal Raleigh. With a amazing offensive season, despite Cal having maybe the best season that a catcher has ever had in Major League Baseball. For those who don't see my screen, I played a little trick on Omari
You did.
and
You did.
formatted it.
I
Uh,
wasn't even going to explain my fake my like oh.
um, yeah, I formatted it in a way that very clearly told Omari that I was
Yeah.
about ready to announce that Cal Raleigh had won the MVP because Omari was big in Cal's train at the end of this year.
Yeah.
And despite him having an incredible year, despite him hitting 60 home runs as a catcher, he will come in second place in
Right.
2025, where Aaron Judge
It's a
wins
hitter's
another
league.
home run. Um, hits another gets another MVP with a 53 home run season. The big difference here is almost 100 points difference in slugging. Um, while while playing still also a very good defensive outfield position. So it's not like this guy is not just a hitter. Kyle Schwarber, for example, was able to rack up 4.7 WAR and be second place in the National League. And he is a designated hitter. He doesn't pitch, he doesn't field. He was purely just a hitter. Aaron Judge is a hitter and an incredible fielder. Despite Shohei Ohtani's pitching, some can debate that WAR is a flawed stat in some terms. But
Hmm.
despite Shohei Ohtani's incredible offensive season and incredible pitching year, Aaron Judge racked up 9.7 WAR, 2 points higher than the great Shohei Ohtani.
Hmm.
So that was the tough fight that voters had this year. Um, you had one of the greatest catching seasons of all time, and then you had one of the greatest non-Shohei Ohtani seasons of all time. So that's what we ended up going with, and Aaron Judge is our AL MVP. Now, Omari, we have our 2026 free agents laid out on the board here. I also gave you a quick little grab of all of our teams available in the major leagues. Just
Yeah.
so as I run through these names here, if you want to give a random stab, I'd love to
Where
hear it.
they're going?
First off, number one on the board is probably the best all-around player available this year. He is great in every he's a white guy, Mr. Baseball type, you know?
Okay.
Just kind of that prototypical baseball player guy. Great outfielder. Kyle Tucker was
Doesn't look
currently playing
baseball
for the
then.
Chicago Cubs. He is age 29. So anytime you're under 30, you're considered young for free agency, and
That makes sense.
that usually adds a premium to your dollar on top of whatever you were going to get. Um, and being the best player on the market this year, he is going to command a huge dollar. Projected contract currently sitting at 11 years, $418 million. Omari, when you start talking those kind of numbers, it kind of limits the teams that would
Yeah.
probably be involved. What do you got, a random stab?
Yankees. They saw the Dodgers steal their whole playbook. They steal the whole flow bar for bar this season, and pay out the ass and win the and be rewarded with a championship. That's classic Yankee behavior. I'm not sure if the Dodgers, with everybody that they're already paying, can also pay this guy. So I'm assuming he's going to the Yankees. I'm not even gonna be like, oh, I hope he comes to the Cards, especially when she said 400. Cards don't like paying nobody.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, the answer to your question is yes. Yes, they can. Yes, they do, and yes, they can, and yes, they might. When you stick a four in front of a three-digit number, there are only a handful of teams that can participate with this gentleman, and they are going to be the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, maybe the Philadelphia Phillies, the New York Mets, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and maybe the San Francisco Giants.
yeah,
Those are probably the teams, and currently he is projected to be purchased by the Dodgers.
really.
So we'll see what comes from that. I don't really have a dog in this race, horse in this race. I don't think it's going to. My gut tells me it's not going to be the Dodgers, so I'm thinking it's
Yeah.
going to be a surprise team on this list, like maybe the Red Sox.
Hmm.
Number two on the free agent board is Framber Valdez, starting pitcher from the Houston Astros, currently 32, projected for 6 years, $168 million. The thing about Framber Valdez, Omari, is he's not a sexy pitcher. He's not throwing crazy pitches that just make your eyes pop out of your head and you're like, "Oh my God."
Mm.
He just throws strikes and he throws them fast, like his rate of throwing them. He works quick and he keeps hitters off balance with spotting the ball very particularly. He pitches a lot. He throws a lot of innings for you. That's his big benefit to you as a team member. Um, do you have a random guess?
Um, Teams that need pitching. I know we need pitching. He's not worth 400 million, right? He's like what, six? Yeah, 168. That sounds like Cardinal money.
It sounds like Cardinal money. He might have a little bit of an attitude problem. I don't know. There was a thing that
Oh,
popped up this
okay.
season that was just a little odd. I'm sure every team that's going to be interested in him is going to be interviewing him pretty deeply about that situation. If that ends up being nothing, which it could easily be nothing, I would just want a good explanation from him
Yeah.
on this and it would be too deep to it happened mid game and it was just a little it was a thing that was just like what huh was that
Okay.
was that off was that intentional so I just love to hear that before he comes to my team but I think that's a not a I don't think that's a bad shout. I think Framber is going to end up going to an unpredictable destination.
Yeah.
Maybe the Arizona Diamondbacks. I could see him ending up in possibly Detroit.
Fair.
Let's predict that.
Unaware of his uh issues off the field, but fair enough. The attitude problem, that's what you used. Yeah, I was unaware of that, but yeah. I know we need
Cody,
pitching. I know I've
yeah.
heard you talk about that throughout the season. That's one of the Cardinals' down points is pitching. And we do like to try
Cardinals,
to stay relevant.
Cardinals have a lot of down points right now. Cody Bellinger, outfielder from the New York Yankees, age 30, former MVP, had an incredible bright spot early in his career, incredible downturn, and then now we're on the resurgence.
Okay,
Um, so if this was his MVP year, he's currently maybe about here.
gotcha.
So he is looking for this is going to be his payday. He already did his free agent year last year and took a 1 year prove it deal on himself.
And
And was very successful. So we are looking at 6 years, $165 million for this defensive minded Cody Bellinger.
defense. So I don't want to just keep saying Yankees and Cardinals for every pick that I do. Um, However, I don't know why the Yankees would get rid of him and not try to keep him if he's having that resurgence. Like if he had the prove it deal and he proved it, and you're the fucking Yankees who just overpay for everything anyway. That's why I'm saying they'll keep him. But if I want to try to switch it up a bit, I don't know enough to know defensive minded teams. But I feel like Toronto's also got to try to get somebody to stay into things.
Toronto's going to need to be active this year, I would think, if
Yeah.
they want to. Because I mean, yeah, everybody that gets to the World Series and loses wants to get back to the World Series.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'll throw it out and say Toronto. Why not?
Toronto's a cool pick. I liked everything that you said there. I would love him as a Cardinal. I don't know if that's going to happen in my gut, but I think he would be a great Cardinal. I do think odds of him coming back to New York are very high. I also think if the Dodgers don't end up playing in the Kyle Tucker market, they might very easily go the Cody Bellinger route. As I mentioned, that MVP year the boy was born and raised an LA Dodger. He's only
Oh,
been a New York Yankee for a single year. Um, so we'll see how that goes.
oh my
Um,
God.
Number four, Alex Bregman, third baseman from the Boston Red Sox. He is going to be 32 years old. There's a good chance he's going back to the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Uh, but this is another one that could potentially go anywhere.
Yeah. I'm gonna say they try to keep him.
Tetsuya Maya.
Dodgers.
He is a starting pitcher, age 27, coming over from the Japanese baseball professional baseball league. He is probably looking for a 6 year, $135 million deal. Plus, any team that signs him is going to have to pay $22 million to his Japanese team.
Mm,
Because that's how getting folks from Japan works.
gotcha.
You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta pay the team first, and then you get to pay the kid. Uh, People have described him as Yamamoto light, not going to be as good as Yamamoto, but very similar frame and pitching style as Yamamoto.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Um,
Do- I mean, it's easy to predict the Dodgers, and it's obviously a very high possibility. There is no salary cap in
in
baseball.
baseball, yeah.
There are only luxury taxes, where once you go over a certain threshold, you have to pay into a pot that at the end of the year gets divided amongst all 32 teams or whatever.
And you
And
know what
then
helps with that? World Series champion merchandise.
yeah, it does. And then you go over another threshold, and you have to pay more. And then you
Hmm.
have to go, and then you go after go over a third threshold, and you have to pay more. And then I believe a few years ago, because of the new owner of the New York Mets, not the Los Angeles Dodgers' fault, they created a whole new tier for if you go to this certain amount, then you have to pay this amount to the luxury tax pool. The Dodgers are already there. And they're not, and they haven't created a new tier, and there's no talk of creating a new tier. So there's no reason to not just continue spending.
Yeah.
Um,
Right. I
but
made the joke just because the second I saw the Japanese name, I'm like, well, Dodgers. Their whole
but
team is like all the Japanese players.
teams want some of this action, obviously. It all comes down to the player's choice. These are free agents. The player gets to choose.
Hmm.
If players continually choose the Dodgers because they're an incredible team and because they have incredible facilities that they put a lot of money into, and they get to play with incredible future Hall of Fame players that are already on the Dodgers, you can't fault a guy for wanting to go do that.
Yeah.
But there are other teams that desperately want to get into this market every single year that the Dodgers prove that it's a relevant market. Every single season now, for like 5 seasons in a row, we have had a premium player from Japan come over to the majors. Teams want to start getting a foothold, and they will start overpaying to get that foot in the door. I'm not saying Tetsuya is that guy where, say, Seattle is going to
Hmm.
overpay him by 30% just to declare again, hey guys, remember when we used to be owned by Nintendo and all of Japan loved us? We used to be the Japanese team. Remember?
Yeah,
We're the
they
city
had
that's closest to Japan.
they had an
Um,
old dude.
Ichiro
I
Suzuki.
thank you,
Yeah.
Ichiro.
They used to be the Japanese team. So Seattle could do that. There's a world where Seattle could do that. Any team in the country wants to do that because they want to just get their foot in the door on that giant market that wants to spend money on
Yeah.
American baseball product. Um, let's jump forward. I'm gonna bounce around. Let's go. I'm just gonna hit these all fast. We don't need to necessarily predict them. Dylan C, starting pitcher from the San Diego Padres, comes in at number 6. He's a guy that he's at the right price level where there's going to be.
tons of people
There
that
should
are
be a dozen
tremendous.
teams. There should be 2 dozen teams looking at Dylan Cease. Bo Bichette is an interesting one coming in from the Toronto Blue Jays. One, he had a pretty nasty injury that kept him out for a good chunk of this past season. Despite that, he is a hitting machine. He is a ball to bat machine.
Yeah,
The thing
wasn't
that's
he the
not
3 run in the world in Game 7?
yes. The thing that's not sexy about Bo Bichette is he doesn't really consistently have that power. That was a great home run for him. But he is going to max out at getting you like maybe 10 home runs, 15
Mm,
home runs in a season, which in the modern baseball game is pretty low. And they usually like people to be sitting at around 20.
yeah.
And those are like their low power guys even for these big great teams. So Bo Bichette's a really interesting case because he's going to lead the league in hits, but they're just going to be like slapped singles
Hey,
across the diamond, which used to be
get on
incredibly
base.
powerful and prevalent and very valued. And just in today's game, it's just not as doesn't put the butts in the seats, you know?
Mm,
Kyle Schwarber, outfielder, as I mentioned, DH from the Philadelphia Phillies, second place in the MVP. Most people got to think that he's coming back to the Phillies. He has put himself into that team so much to where it's one of those where it's now weird if you saw him somewhere else. Speaking of which, Pete Alonso, New York Met,
oh,
only been a New York Met, always been a New York Met, incredible first baseman. I don't know if he's going to be a New York Met anymore, and he's a guy that should have a statue, and they're going to let him walk, and that's kind of crazy. Uh,
really? They just overpaid for it. You just told me they created the tier that LA Dodgers said bet will try and match and go over.
yeah,
And they're not willing to
and
pay
then
Pete Alonso?
and then they did that for 3 or 4 years and weren't successful in the playoffs, and threw the handbrake on
I mean, that's not
really
his
hard.
fault.
That's not his fault necessarily, but yeah, I mean, Pete Alonso has his problems. He's not
Oh,
the
okay.
perfect player. He's gonna hit you 35 to 40 home runs, but he's also gonna strike out a lot,
Mm,
kind of thing. He's an okay defensive first baseman, but he's not a great defensive first baseman. It's those kind of things.
gotcha.
Um, in the world of testing his market with the other teams that he's never really done yet. He's only been a New York Met. The conversation is going to be he hasn't really been a winner. The New York Mets, despite how much money was funneled into that team the last 10 years, the job hasn't been done. You can say that's not Pete Alonso's fault, but
Yeah.
that's just a fact that people will use against him, I'm sure. As we all know, like that's one of the first tools a sports debater will use
Yeah.
against you is all
Can't
right,
win
how many
championships.
championships did you win? How
Yeah.
did you do when it really mattered?
Well, yeah. I didn't know if baseball had the same discourse as other sports. I thought
I mean,
baseball, you
it
guys
always comes in.
still had your heads on your shoulders and could
We're
see
the
the big
we're
picture.
probably we're probably the best of them as far as truly evaluating the individual and trying to separate the team mechanics of it. Probably because baseball is the sport where you have the least effect on your team. Like you have the smallest percentage of your team than Michael Jordan had with the Bulls, kind of thing. LeBron James, any one of their big highlight games, they dialed that up to where they were controlling 99% of the aspects of their team. Barry Bonds can still only come to bat 4 times. And then finally, we have our other Japanese guy, Minetaka Murakami, third baseman
Munetaka.
from the Swallows in the Nippon Professional Baseball League. He's 26 years old. He's looking for 5 years, $80 million. The This is probably one that is not going to be the Dodgers because
Yeah.
he doesn't really fit. Um, he's got prodigious power, but again, he's a free swinger. He will probably end up striking out a bit. He might be a guy that struggles at first when he arrives, which many of them do. Shohei Ohtani even did. Um, so you have to adjust to major league pitching. He's probably going to be one of those guys. He also projects to not be a third baseman for very long. He's a big
Oh,
body boy. And so most assume that if you're hiring him, you're assuming that he's going to be moving to first base or DH pretty soon after your purchase of him. So the Dodgers are out because they have Freddie Freeman at first and they have Shohei Ohtani at DH. And those
yeah.
aren't changing in the recent future, in the near future. So we do get to look at a Japanese born player heading somewhere else. A lot of people are throwing out San Francisco Giants. We'd love to see a Seattle Mariner. Um,
Let's say you mentioned that earlier. Do we need a first baseman? I mean, 80 million seems like a good
if we let go of Nolan Arenado, which a lot of rumors are that we're gonna let him move on to a new team this year.
I've heard the name Arenado though. I feel like he's good.
Nolan Arenado is a great third baseman. He's going to go down as
Yeah.
one of the greatest third basemen of all time.
What kind of Cardinals fan are you, Omari? A casual one, okay? I
It was
think
super casual
we
from that
pointed this
statement.
out. I'm just saying though, I've heard the name Nolan Arenado. I'm like, why are we letting him go? I'm like, I feel like he's good.
He's up there. He's up there in years. He's making a lot of money, and it's one of
Mm,
those things of like
and the Cardinals don't
we're
like him
not
making
being
money.
we're not really great right now. You only have a couple years left. You probably want to go somewhere that has a better chance of being great, don't
Yeah.
you? Yeah, I would. Okay, if we can find a deal that works for all parties, we'll try and get you to a team that's probably going to be in the playoffs next year. Those kind of conversations happen a lot, and then it all just depends on if a team like the New York Yankees is willing to send us is and usually we end up eating a little bit of that deal because the Yankees on our side know that Nolan is particular about what teams he wants to go to. So the Yankees are going to be like, well, yeah, he's Nolan Arenado, but you're not going to get Nolan Arenado value in this deal. You're going to get a tick or two ticks below Nolan Arenado value. I'll send you
Yeah,
XYZ from the
then
minors.
fucking keep him. I'm sorry. We got to stop making ourselves worse just to do that when
I mean, those
everybody else is
guys.
willing to spend money. We can't be unwilling to spend money and unwilling to make good trades. I'm sorry. Like, damn it, Cardinals. So,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I mean, hey, that's it. That's it. That's MLB. That's a giant size MLB this week because we probably won't have it back for quite a while. As
Mhm.
free agent new, any of these big, probably any of these top five free agents end up signing, we'll probably mention it here on the show. But otherwise, we're gonna probably be quiet for a few months on Major League Baseball.
All right. Well, baseball season, we will see again. Obviously, it's the great American pastime, and we be Americans. Um, that said, yeah, MLB season, hell of a way to send this season off with that World Series. Looking forward to next year. Go moving on to topic two. We got the NFL, the Great American Present Time. How nice. Good old Macho Man Randy
Little chubby
Savage.
baby Macho Man.
That's awesome. But yeah, NFL. Last week, I went 7-7 on the picks, which is worse than I've done the majority of this season, but still 500. It's just, some game that could have gone either way went the way opposite of what I said. For instance, my Panthers got embarrassed by the New Orleans Saints, just belt to ass whooping last week. Um, Cal, and before I get more into picks on a serious topic, there was a player for the Dallas Cowboys who took his own life. Last week, I believe it was Nealon. I, I forget his last name. I'm so sorry. I thought I had the thing here. Nealon, yeah, Nealon was the last name. He passed away in a car crash that people are saying was intentional by the player. Always, folks, your mental health's important. If you need help, go talk to somebody. It just goes to show you you could be a multimillionaire in a position that only like 400 people in the world get to be and still not be satisfied with your life. And if that's the case, you, the average working person at home, you also deserve to live. No one's above getting help.
Yeah.
That said, back to the game itself.
Dial 988 for talk and help. Um and it's sometimes those lines are busy. And you know what's not busy? The customer service line for your shampoo company. Like just call somebody. Burden them for 10 minutes, but I bet you they'll listen, you know?
Yeah,
Just give somebody a call. 988 is the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. And yeah, give them a call.
there we go. Now back to the games themselves. The Dolphins beat the Patriots, shocking everybody last week. That was cool. I'm happy about that. Always happy to see the Patriots lose, even though they eventually just won on Thursday because they went against the Jets.
Even though
Uh,
they still managed to fuck with you in defeat
yeah,
because
because I
you
had
picked them
picked.
last week.
Yeah, but hey, I will always be happy to be wrong about the Patriots winning. However, if you want a sign that times are getting better in the world, I don't have it for you because the Patriots are still on the top of the league. So we're still in the dark ages. No, there is no light at the end of the rainbow right now. Um, and Travis Hunter, sad news for the Jaguars. Their two-way player trying to prove that you can do that in the NFL as well. Now is on the IR after a non-contact injury in practice. He was a rookie this season, so luckily he's young, so hopefully he can bounce back. But non-contact injuries, those usually end up being like the real serious ones, like your ACLs, MCLs, Achilles type
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Wishing them the best. That said, keeping the NFL topic short, I'll go ahead and go right into my picks for this week.
Let's
I
do it.
got yeah, they beat the Patriots, but I still can't fully trust the Dolphins. I got the Commanders over them. I got the Packers over the Giants, especially because the
Go Pack
Giants,
Go.
especially because Jackson Dart got injured with a concussion again, and it's back to Mister Unlimited at quarterback, who has not been good lately, especially since he started giving himself nicknames. Russell Wilson. Um, the Texans versus Titans. I'm going to quote the Titans quarterback, keep it a buck, their ass. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Texans win that. Falcons, I got them beating the Panthers despite losing 31-0 earlier this season. After that ass whooping by the Saints last week, I don't trust the Panthers for shit. I got the Falcons beating the Panthers. I got the Bears over the Vikings, the Chargers over the Jags. Um, sorry, Bill, in light of my error last week where I accidentally said that
Bills
the Chiefs
Bucks.
won, yeah, I'm sorry. I got the Bills over your Bucks this
You're
week.
picking the Bills over Bills Bucks?
Over Bills, but I'm picking the Bills over the Bucks. Yes, it could go either way, but hey, Buccaneers,
You eat
they
those
lost last
words.
week. They lost last week. Like, and the Bills are like 9-2 or something on the
It's Bills
season.
Bucks.
Something
They
stupid.
know what they have to do against the Bills.
Hopefully. I would want the Bucks to win that matchup. Meanwhile, we actually no, I don't, because I need somebody in that division to challenge the Patriots. So I do want the Bills to win. Meanwhile, Steelers, Bengals at the Steelers. I'm picking Steelers.
Hmm.
Niners, Cardinals, Niners, Rams over Seahawks, Chiefs over Broncos, Ravens over the Browns, Eagles over the Lions, and Cowboys over Raiders. And then I got the Bills over the Texans. No real explanation needed for those other games. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
that's the
Um, uh, uh, quick hits, quick hits. Better team, 49ers or Rams?
Rams,
Bears or Packers?
Packers,
Bucks or Eagles?
Bucks or Eagles. I'm gonna say Eagles because reigning, defending, and all of that, and they didn't really lose anything. But I
Eagles,
got
Eagles, Packers, Eagles, Packers, Rams.
Eagles, Packers, Rams. Give me the Eagles. I do
Okay.
still think the
So you
Eagles
still think they're
are.
the top of the NFC?
I do. Um, I do. Yeah. The Packers. I mean, the Packers lost to the Saints. What are we talking about? Oh, not the Saints. The Packers lost to the Panthers, is what I meant to
Right.
say. What are we
You
talking
know, the
about?
any given Sunday.
The Packers lost to the Panthers. The Rams. Um, yeah, there's some bias in there, but I know Stafford is playing strong. But I, I just the Eagles when everything's clicking, they're still. I
If the
mean,
Niners was
reigning
fully
defending.
healthy, do you think that they would be on atop the league?
Yes, I do. I do think they'd be a lot more in contention if fully healthy. I'm not even sure about the Purdy part, but they have a lot of injuries on that team. And I say I'm not sure about Purdy because as much as I like Purdy, I'm a Purdy guy. He was Mr. Irrelevant in the draft, which is why
Hmm.
I want him to be successful because I just think it'd be hilarious and funny. Also, it'd be like, wow, this is the lowest draft pick to win a Super Bowl instead of that other guy. Um, but then we go into the other reasons. But no, I got the Eagles for now because they still got Saquon, Mr. 360 no scope jumping over people. They still got that guy and he's still running strong. But AFC is a lot more in contention because the Colts, Indiana Jones, and fucking Jonathan Taylor going crazy. So, and they've got like I think only two losses on the season. The Patriots only have like two losses on the season, if that. The Bills, very few losses. There's a lot more contention in the
Hmm.
AFC this year, at the top at least. NFC is anybody's game because of parity, but that's always been the NFC story. It's why we always lose to the AFC in the Super Bowl 9 times out of 10. We're the parity league, so anybody could. We actually are the division of the conference of any given Sunday. AFC is just same story as always. That's why I told myself I'd stick with the NFC if I had to pick a new team after St. Louis.
All right, Omar, let's pop over to the NBA. You had a couple of news and notes for us.
Yes. After last, it's the biggest story of last season, and it's finally like pretty much reached its particular arc ending because we kind of see the result. Nico
Defense wins
Harrison,
championships. Oh.
defense wins championships. I mean, so I've heard, but
That's the arc that
Nick,
you're saying, right? Defense wins championships, and then they won the NBA Finals on an incredible defensive performance with Anthony Davis blocking all of the shots,
all of them.
all of the shots, while a Mavericks team ran around trim and slim.
Uh,
That's that's
that's
that's the end of the plot arc that you're referring to, right? That happened, right?
no, 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 no. Unfortunately, the it due to injuries to Mr. Davis and Mr. Irving and a couple of other people, as well as the fact that Luca's playing like crazy in the best shape of his life to start this season. Um, yeah, Nico Harrison has been let go by the Dallas Mavericks. And a surprise to very few people. Some people thought, hey, they got the number one pick in the draft as a result. Maybe he was playing the long game. Trust the process, if you will. But Cooper Flag, yes, he's a rookie. Yes, we're like 15 games into the season, but he's not really doing that well at this
Not
point.
a not a game-changing presence.
Yeah. And AD,
for a heartbroken fan base right now. Like, can you imagine?
heartbroken.
Like, and this
The
is just the nail in the coffin of like, all right, so the guy that fired our favorite guy is now fired. So now we have nothing.
well,
Like there was the sliver of hope that he was right, and they had a great team after Luca left, and they won something, and they could hang their hat on that.
mhm.
But now it's gone.
Yeah, I'll put it
Heartbreaking.
this way. The owner was seen apologizing courtside to a fan that he let the trade happen. Um, and speaking of trades, AD is apparently amongst a lot of trade rumors. Not exactly that many teams mentioned just yet, because people are like, while Dallas is clearly trying to get rid of him, or allegedly. Um, AD is a player who has played 14 games in the last 9 months. I'm not even sure if that's 9 months regular season or 9 months including the 3 months of off season, but still 14 games. And he's currently on a 7 game streak of being out this season with a calf strain, and he has a contract worth $43 million. So he has a pretty sizable NBA contract on top of that. So, who's desperate enough to try to get a injured, expensive AD from the team that's clearly just trying to
What team
offload
is Kevin Durant on right
this?
now?
I believe it is the Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets is Kevin Durant this season. That's his current journey.
Do a AD
Uh,
KD swap.
you know what? I'd be down for that just to
Because you
see.
also need to swap a bunch of money, right? Because that whatever team he's going to needs to make a big hole in their cap if
Yeah.
they're anywhere close to the cap.
Yeah, but there is a luxury tax in the NBA.
Okay, okay,
Warriors,
yeah, I'm not familiar with it.
there's a cap and a luxury tax for going over the cap. But
Okay,
and Warriors paid that for their dynasty. That's how I found out about it. The Warriors were willing to be like, yeah, we'll keep paying the luxury tax until the championships weren't matching the luxury tax they were paying. And then they're like, okay, Clay, we got to get rid of you. Go to Dallas, and all this
but in
other
turn,
stuff.
you're gonna get Megan the Stallion, and everything's gonna work out for you just fine.
Clay Thompson's with Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
Oh, good on him. Good on
Great
him.
on him.
I would not have thought that she would go with him, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they've been social public for quite a while now. They seem very happy together. Like a genuine relationship thing. They seem very happy together. It's pretty cool.
that's awesome. Meanwhile, the Clippers are being the Clippers, except now they're the Clippers and old. They've got three players. They've got three players under the age of 30 on their team. Many people
Damn.
late 30s. Chris Paul being one of them. He's gone back to the Clippers. He had a lot of good years with the Clippers. So far, this isn't one of them. I think this is just more of a farewell tour for the guy. As great as he was and is and stuff. So far this season, he's only doing 12 minutes and he's not getting a lot out of those 12 minutes a game. 2 points, less than 2 rebounds, less than 4 assists on average. He plays like a quarter a game. It's just not what you expect for someone once referred to as the point god.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
James
man, that's
Harden,
I mean, it feels like such a young man sport. Like you're running so much.
yeah,
Like uh
yeah. Don't let your MJs and your Vince Carters and your LeBrons fool you. Not everybody can go NBA into their 40s. Um, Yeah, and even then, your Vince Carters and MJs at 40 were not the players they
oh
were
yeah.
years
And it's just
before.
like
And
I
LeBron
think
has
of
been injured all season.
the NBA and the NFL as the two sports where whether you're coming out of high school age level or college age level, those are the two sports where you could go directly into the professional league of that sport and affect that sport if you're good. And in like in baseball, even the greatest player of all time is still going to sit in the minors for like 3 years. So yeah, I like the fact that they have, would you say two guys under 30?
Three, but
Three
yes,
guys. Yeah,
out of like 15.
that feels crazy.
Yeah.
When you could potentially have a 21-year-old, a a 20-year-old on your
Mm.
team. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
But Kawhi is doing okay, but James Harden at the moment is leading the team with things. He's getting up there in age. He's not 40, but he's, on the plus side of 35, I'm sure.
Hmm.
Like he's above that. And he's not what he used to be, Mr. 40 points a game, 30 free throws of that being the 30 free throws making up those 40 points.
As a casual, can I ask you what's up with Kawhi?
Kawhi,
Has that resolved at all?
it has not resolved. The last I heard, it was still more stuff was coming out, just like, oh, this is even more weird. But I think a lot of the heat has backed off of him specifically because of the big gambling scandal in general. I've heard more people talk about that, but
Right.
it's
That's what
not.
that whole thing's going on.
Kawhi's still allowed to play from what I can see. So there hasn't been like a divine punishment or anything like that just yet.
And it would be less
Um,
on him and more on the team, right? Like the
yeah,
team
it'd
could
be
potentially
more.
get draft picks removed
I
or
think it'd be
something
more
like
on
that.
the owner than Kawhi himself. I do know a lot of people started doing some more like commercials and stuff for their endorsement deals in light of this, because a big part of what made this stand out is like, Kawhi's supposed to be endorsing, but he's literally done nothing to talk about this company in the last 2 years or something like that. Oh, I almost forgot. Speaking of scandals involving the NBA and media and gambling, Stephen A. Smith, Mr. I know more about the NBA than anybody else because I pay attention to this stuff. Got caught playing solitaire in the NBA Finals, well, at the NBA Finals game that he's supposed to be covering, he's playing solitaire on his
Oh
phone.
yeah,
Some young saw him do that.
I remember seeing that video. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and to be fair, it could have been. With me not going too deep into him playing solitaire on his phone, there's a lot of reasons he could have been doing that and still been actually doing his job in
Yeah.
the interest of fairness. However,
I'm not going to blame anybody in a Stephen A. Smith position admitting that their passion for that game isn't
yeah,
the same
what
as
it
it
was.
was 20 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. That said, he tried to turn it into a commercial and into a money-making opportunity for a solitaire app. Had a commercial made entirely of AI, which or almost entirely of AI, which you already know does not reflect well in the eyes of the public.
Yeah.
Followed by the fact that he got other people at ESPN to endorse said app, only for said app to turn out to be a scam.
Like a data mining thing or
Uh,
something.
Data mining slash, I forget, it was earlier this week I saw the videos about it, but it was a big scam. They had other people coming out being like, this is why Stephen A is a terrible person. It was funny. It was funny because one of those people was fucking Michelle Beadle, and boy, did she talk bad about the wrong person in that regard, because he ended up doing like an hour long, okay, Michelle Beadle, you want to talk? You've been talking for years. Let's talk about your career. It did not look good for her at the end of that. But there was a scam involving Stephen A. Smith in solitaire, and he mainly covers basketball, so I figured I'd bring that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be
Yeah.
entirely generated by ESPN just to get people to watch ESPN now.
Hey, they're apparently losing the public opinion and ratings to
Oh God,
NBA
no,
on NBC.
they've been cliff falling
Yeah.
in the public media space for quite a while.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
why they got inside
oversaturated
the
with so many
NBA.
different options. That's why they put the deal with WWE together. It's
Mhm.
because fucking a random website like Bleacher Report is now just as relevant in the athletic space as ESPN in some conversations.
Well, one big problem is they focus on pointing out the negatives because folks like your Skip Baylesses and Stephen A. Smiths made them so much money over the years just shitting on
Yeah,
players.
it became a parody of itself at some point. Where like yeah, it's like the MTV effect of it all. Where like you have a bunch of old men walking around now being like, "Can't I just have Sports Center? Like what happened to just good old Sports Center? Like can't I just have music? MTV doesn't even play music videos
What
anymore."
happened to music television? Why is this just the ridiculousness channel?
All right, here that's our old man rant for the day. If you like seeing us rant about other things, we've done a bunch of stuff on this channel. You can go see This Guy Hasn't Seen, where we share media back and forth. One guy has seen it, the other one hasn't. We're doing a bunch of stuff. Got Sonic recently going on, or
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be coming up this week. So yes, stick around for that.
Yes.
Omari, where else can they find you on the internet?
And you can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by, streaming Earth Day 240. You know what that means. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I believe we're about done here, unless Bill's got anything. Oh, there they are.
Omori. Omori. You see, the thing is, brother, it's coming to the end of 2025.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
need to decide on the Feel Grande YouTube network.
Ooh.
Who is the best wrestlers of 2025, brother?
It's the spin for me. And yes, the reverse spin even better.
I got tingled in my headphones. Ooh, yeah.
Love it.
You see, little
I
macho
agree,
men,
by the way.
when life tingles you in your headphones,
Oh,
you just gotta get untangled and get back up, 'cause that's the macho way. You dig it?
I I do indeed. I was gonna try to. I'm too busy laughing. You guys have a good one. Adios.